Hi there. We are live. A very pleasant Monday morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Truly grateful to be here with y'all. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about a new project that I'm going to be working on. But first, I want to tell y'all a story. It was shortly after my dad passed away, maybe a month or two after he passed away. The grief was still fresh. I was, um, I had gone over to his place to handle some business matters, and I noticed that his piano was just super dusty. Now, for those who don't know, my dad was just a master musician, and his dream instrument was always a Fender Rhodes piano. Now, if you don't know that instrument, it's if you've ever heard the Beatles song "Get Back," the the piano solo in the bridge of that song was Billy Preston, the late great Billy Preston, just lighting just lighting it on fire, just a smoking hot solo. But it really became like a staple of soul, rock, and jazz music in the '70s, in the '60s and '70s. And my dad always wanted one. Now, when my mom when her health was declining, um, he kind of fell out of love with music. But I think he was starting to get a little bit of the itch back, um, maybe 2 or 3 years after she passed. And when he finally bought his dream instrument, he was so excited. He was so excited, even was in talks about sitting in with a few guys playing a gig. And I was just like, yes, this is how he gets his momentum back. But his depression, his demons just really never left him. Now, getting back to that piano, I went over there and this thing was just dusty, just incredibly dusty. The white keys on this thing had started to turn gray. It was so dusty. And I don't play. I am a music connoisseur, don't get me wrong, but I don't play. So I cleaned it up a little bit. I plugged it in. I just wanted to hear it. I just wanted to hear it. And I plinked out a few notes and it sounded just like what I heard on what I heard on Get Back, what I heard on so many Stevie Wonder and Steely Dan songs and Earth, Wind and Fire songs. Just some of the finest pop music songs of all time had that instrument featured prominently. And this wasn't a conscious choice. This wasn't a conscious decision, but I made a decision at that point. I don't think I could have articulated it at the time, but I made a decision at that point to never let my circumstances get in the way of me telling my story because that instrument was my dad's story. Now, flash forward 10 years later, I've got a growing business. I'm about to finish writing my sixth book. I've commissioned and I've had a few commissioned titles that I've published. I've helped people become Amazon best-selling authors. I've helped people find their voice so that they can tell their story. Now, of course, many of you may know the project that we released towards the end of 2023 called the Expanding Man Chronicles. one of the most important projects I think I've ever done, and I think I ever will do, because seven of us gathered to share our stories, about expanding the definition of what it means to be a man. Now, the announcement that I have is that the Expanding Man Chronicles Volume 2 is coming. And I'm focusing this book on people who have transformational stories, on men who have transformational stories with a firm choice point. You know, it's like the whole, it's Robert Frost, right? It's the whole two roads diverge in a snowy woods, and I take the road less traveled. Do you choose to go down the road of comfortability? Do you choose to go down the road of easy? Or do you choose to go down the road of challenging yourself, of growing? Do you choose to take the road less traveled? It was at that moment in the mudroom of my dad's house that I chose to take the road less traveled. And I want to feature stories, transformational stories that have that choice point. I've already been in talks with a few people. Um, I've got one man already signed up. He's ready to go. Um, but I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you with your stories of making that difficult choice to take the road less traveled. There's a link in the pinned comment to the application for this to write for this book. If you or if a man in your life has a transformational story that began with a firm decision point, a firm choice point to go down the road less traveled, I want to hear from you. Fill out that application, get back with me. We can set up a conversation because I'm only taking applications through December the 1st. Now, it's still a couple of months away, but I'm only taking applications through December the 1st. So get your application in today because this book is going to be coming out next spring. Yeah. This book is going to be coming out next spring. Um, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to be able to share these stories with the world because today and every day, with apologies to the great Donald Fagen, this is the day of the expanding man. Get those applications in today because the Expanding Man Chronicles Volume 2 is coming. I love you all.